Hey, what's up, guys? Sam here, and I'll be kicking off the free video for Friday, May 13th, 2022. So we just got a weekly close to the market, maybe mercifully, depending on how you're positioned. And so, really, the only question going into next week, guys, is just is this enough of a low to create a bounce back to the daily 21? And I just finished doing the premium video for the folks in the gold room, and it's very, very close. I gave the edge slightly to the bulls to be able to push higher from these patterns, but it was really close. Normally, we can get down to like 70-30 odds. In this instance, it was really about 55-45 with an ever so slight edge to the bulls, and the only reason I give them the edge is because of some hammer candles on the weekly charts. Kind of an ugly one there on SPY, a better one on like something like Amazon. Amazon probably has one of the better ones. ARK has one of the better ones in terms of volume as well. And then you've been really, really destroyed here intraday. You see how the green line there on that indicator got down to the bottom? That never happens. Like last time that it happened was like right there, and you got almost a $25 move on SPY. So it's just basically a sign that things are really, really, actually deeply oversold. Um, and this just is very rare, right? Like this indicator down here getting all down here, that's a lot more common. This one will rarely do that. So I give a slight edge to the bulls here because of the weekly candles and just the fact that you have so much destruction in terms of the intraday momentum. It's just so oversold. But the main level that it has to hold for those of you that are going to be intraday trading is the hourly 21 on SPY. So right now the hourly SPY is stuck between the hourly 50 and the hourly 21. It doesn't have to get above the hourly 50 right away, although it'd be better. But it does have to hold the hourly 21, no questions asked. So as long as it holds the hourly 21 on SPY, then I think we have enough oversold juice here to at least come up and test right here, which is the daily 21, and that'll come in somewhere around 415 or so by the time it's all said and done. So I don't think necessarily that's the most kind of interesting part of this. Let me kind of show you the other flip side of this, because I think if you're bullish, you want this to go higher, obviously. If you're bearish, though, you actually want this to go higher. And the reason being is you kind of want all of those Johnny-come-lately bears. They got short this week. Anyone who got short below 390 or so, or maybe even at this point now 400, you want them to get squeezed. And the reason you want them to get squeezed is so that it opens up your entry, if you're bearish, somewhere up here, right in here somewhere for your entry, right? So you want them to be lit on fire, have to force to cover, push this thing up, 150 SPX points or about $15 on the SPY, get to the daily 21, and then that allows you to open up the short yourself at a much more reasonable level. Real quick here, I'm going to title this video SPY 340 question mark part 2. And the reason being is because that's been kind of a pattern of videos lately, is just the part 2. This video came out, and this is the free video that you guys can go watch. This came out in March 11th. And this is when the SPY was still trading 420. And, we asked the question, does the SPY get to 340? Very unpopular opinion at the time, because the market was still going higher and everybody loved it. But now we're a little bit closer than we were then. So I want to give you another kind of follow-up to that. I still think that's in the cards. Really, the only question going into next week is, do we get a bounce first and then roll over, or do we just roll over and die immediately? I don't think we do. I think we do see a bounce, but where I'm still looking is right here at 340. 340 to about 350, right in here for SPY. And the reason is very simple. You see this red line there that's stretched across the screen right here? That's the COVID previous highs. So basically, my thought process is by the time this is all said and done, it might take 2-3 more months, but by the time it's all said and done, we'll have undone all of the COVID gains. So all of the COVID gains are basically from here all the way up. So also, just the weekly 200 is also a very magnetic thing, because you're below all your weekly support levels. You have nothing but sell signals. So I still think 340, 350 is where it's going. Let me show you one more thing here. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. It's free. Every so often I post something either that's, most of the time it's just stuff like this. But every so often I'll post something helpful like this. So this is something I posted earlier in the week. Posted this on Sunday, I think, maybe Monday. And this is a monthly chart of the QQQ. And here's why I think we're still going lower, right? So these were buy signals back in 2009. You see how it gave you buy signals back there, and then you don't get a single arrow until right here. So for 13 years, it didn't give you a single sell arrow until right there. I would pay attention to that. So that's why I'm telling you guys. Ideally, we do get a bounce. Ideally, it's a giant bounce. But don't let that change your mentality going into next week. I still think if you're shorter term, I think you should be looking to trade it both directions. If you're longer term, I think you should be ideally waiting for just the next best sell signal you see so that you can try to push this thing down into about that 340, 350 area. So I don't want to just be all doom and gloom. There are some things that look decent. So I'll leave you with this. This is oil. This is crude oil futures, CL. This is what I had been looking at to close above 108, and it did this week. So here on oil, you have a daily squeeze, you have a 3-day squeeze, and a 2-day squeeze up here. You can see those in red up here. So there's plenty of meat left on the bone as long as crude oil continues to close above 108. 108 is the magic level that I have. As long as it continues to close above 108, I think we can play this into about 116, 117. If it gets above 116, 117, and if it goes there, it should, based on the squeezes, then it's uncapped all the way back up to the highs. And I'm talking like 2007 highs. So like where did it top out? Like 147? That's where I'm looking. So again, take it day by day. We're only $1 or $2 above the breakout level. The level I have is 108. The setup is quite good. You have a 3-day squeeze, a 2-day squeeze, a daily squeeze. As long as it holds 108, you look to push it into 116, 117. Above 116, 117, I think it's uncapped. You will have resistance there back at the previous highs, but that's not that important. You have big pockets of air between these levels. So I like oil long here, just crude, USO, CL, whatever you like. And then for those of you that trade stocks, I'll give you the 2 best that I found. So number 1, and it's really not even that close, is Oxy. So Occidental here, very clean setup, very well aligned, multiple day squeeze, plays very well with the idea if oil does break out. So I don't think you have to overcomplicate it. This is the best one. And then the second best one, and I don't care that it's extended, and here's why. You can buy something that's not as good, like let's say Exxon, but they all move together. So if you're going to buy something that moves all together, you might as well buy the best things. And the 2 best that I saw, Oxy number 1, Marathon MPC number 2. These 2 have the best setups. I'll give an honorable mention to Chevron, CVX. So 3 tickers for you, maybe 4 if you count USO, which you should. So let's say 4 tickers and a slight edge, ever so slight, just a little bit better than a coin flip for a little bit of continuation to the upside on the indices next week, at least to try to test the daily 21s. If the SPY or the QQQ breaks below its hourly 21 EMA, that breaks the structure, and therefore you abandon the idea of a squeeze. As long as it holds the 21 hourly on SPY and QQQ, you can try to see if that squeeze will develop and give us that push into the daily 21. Regardless of what happens, the market remains a short, but ideally, regardless of if you're bullish or bearish, the ideally from higher levels, right? So hopefully we can get that push into the daily 21, and then we can start to set up some bearish trades to take the market down into that 350, 340 level closer to the end of the summer. All right, guys, that's my time. Hopefully this was helpful. Before I depart, I would like to ask that you guys leave us a like or a dislike. It does not matter. Just interact with our page. Just click a thumb up or down. And then if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe. I mean, it's free, and every so often we put out some pretty good content. So if you ever see our videos, click on them, leave them a like, leave them a comment, and it really just helps us with the algorithm. So we really do appreciate it. All right, guys, that's my time. I'll catch you next Friday. Have a great weekend. Cheers. Hey guys, this is Sam, and I'm the Director of Equities at Simpler Trading. I want to thank you for watching this video, and before you go somewhere else on the YouTube, I'd like to ask that you comment and like the video. It really does help us out with the algorithm and getting the message out to more folks who like to see our content. Also, be sure to click the bell notification and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss anything that comes out. If you want to watch us trade in real time using our own money, come over to simplertrading.com and learn how to sign up. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you for the next video. Cheers.